Welcome to HR Minutes. I'm Tim Timmons from the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce. Today I have with me Dr. Erica von Nessen from the Department of Employment and Workforce. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, here today we're going to talk about something called e-notification. Is that correct?
eNotify.
Tell me what that is a little bit.
All right. When an individual comes in to file for unemployment insurance benefits, their employer who separated them has to be notified that they filed against their account. In the past, we've always mailed paper to the business to say, please let us know why Joe Smith was separated from your employment. And
that's the notification separation everybody's singing for you.
Correct.
Okay.
The ones that have to get back in a certain amount of time, and you have to check off the boxes and fill in the little tiny blanks, and that's what we use to help us decide whether the individual is eligible for unemployment benefits. One of the things that we've done in partnership with the South Carolina Business One Stop is to set up a system called eNotify, so that the businesses can receive that instead of by paper, they can receive it electronically. And so
it's taking all the mail.
It's taking the mail time and the postage and what they can do is the system, the SC Boss system, the website, has the information there that they need to respond to, and the business itself can set up how they want to be notified. Do you want a telephone call saying you have something? Do you want a text message? Do you want an email? So there's a lot of different ways that the business can be notified that you have something waiting for you and we need your response.
And the employer can, I guess, select their own, what they want, a certain way
Correct.
to have it done in a certain place.
Right, and they can have multiple ways. I mean, we could call them and email them and text message them. And that really helps us because we need to get that information back to go ahead and make a decision on the claim. And it helps them because they don't have to worry about, what if I'm a small business and I'm out of town and I don't open the mail that week and I miss the deadline, and the individual ends up getting unemployment that maybe shouldn't have.
Maybe shouldn't have. Well, you know, that's a thin line you walk in terms
Right.
of people getting it that shouldn't have. The other side of me says that employees who've been laid off for no reason of their own, that's what the unemployment system's for, is for them to get income until they can find another job, get back to work. So yeah, I want them to get the money they deserve.
Right, and that actually is something we found with the businesses that have signed up for eNotify. When we get the response back, we're getting it back in an average of 3 days. And as soon as we can get that response back from the business, we can go ahead and start working on that claim and get that claimant paid faster if they in fact are eligible for benefits.
If they're eligible. Well, the good news is, over time, that should help the system save the system some money, I would imagine.
Right. One of the focuses for the state and the nation this year is to try to reduce as much as possible any overpayments that result from people not giving us the information we need on the front end. If we have an individual who was fired and the employer doesn't let us know that, that could technically be considered an overpayment. That person should not have been eligible. And if we can get those responses in that 3-day time period or 10-day time period or just more quickly, we can cut that down in terms of what we consider overpayments.
Well, let's talk about that, the overpayments. Is overpayments I guess what I call a big issue? Is it, I mean,
it's a hot topic.
It's a hot topic.
Department of Labor has really made a push. They've actually asked us to create an integrity task force to say, how are you, South Carolina, going to address your overpayments? And the second leading cause of overpayments is separation information. So that's why we really, really need the eNotify system to be up and running and for business community to embrace it and really use it.
Do you have any idea how many employers actually don't respond to that request for separation information?
Actually, when we looked at the eNotify, the percentage that people that replied on time was probably in the 80% range. Now, when it's by paper, that number is a lot lower. I'd say probably maybe only 40% were responding on time. So it's a very big difference. We're very encouraged. Of the 7,000 claims that we've sent through the eNotify system, over 5,000 have come back on time.
That's incredible improvement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go back and talk about the website again. You said it was SC Boss?
SC Boss, the South Carolina Business One Stop, is where you can go. You can do multiple things, not just the eNotify system. You can also work on unemployment insurance taxes and file claims for your marginally attached workers. But to enroll in eNotify, you will have to visit SC Boss and get your business enrolled. And you can actually have multiple users. It doesn't have to be just one HR individual responsible. You can set up multiple users so that you always have your business covered. If you're out of town or someone's sick, they're not going to miss that 10-day deadline.
That's how you get the 3-day notification back, because you got several.
We have anybody can get on, and whoever's the first person to get that information in, that's the information we'll take.
Well, I will tell you, over the years, having been in HR for longer than I care to tell you in South Carolina, I've heard a lot of employers, I use the word complain, that an employer will discharge somebody or they'll leave. And by the time they get that request for notification, it's almost too late to even meet your deadline. And I think a lot of that's because of the mail. You lose, what, 4 days in the mail out of 10?
Sometimes you do. We have, I think, really addressed that through this e-notification system. You don't have to worry about being lost mail time or being lost in the mail. That's another situation that happens sometimes.
Well, tell us that website again.
It's www.scboss.sc.gov. And if you can't remember it, Google South Carolina Business One Stop. That's the way I get to it.
Well, this is your last shot. We talked about e-notification. Anything else you want to tell the employees of South Carolina about what's going on at due, or anything you want to get to them real quick?
Well, as I said, integrity is a big part of our push this year to make sure we're not paying people that shouldn't be paid. Part of that is that separation information, getting it back to us on time. The other thing that the business community can do that would really help us is to report all new hires through the Department of Social Services new hire database. That way, when someone goes back to work, we're notified of them and we can make sure they're not still claiming unemployment while already employed.
Well, I may be wrong, but isn't that already a law now that you have to notify DSS when you hire somebody?
There is a law that says all employers in the state have to notify new hires through DSS.
It's just not happening all the time.
I don't know that they have all of the resources to do the enforcement that they need.
Well, for all the employers out there, make sure you notify DSS so we can get it over to the South Carolina Department of Employment and Workforce.
Keeps your taxes down, right?
Absolutely. Thank y'all for joining us today.